Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Night, the crypto investor channel. I'm Boris, so let's dive in. I'm with Colton today. Hello Colton.
Hey Boris, I hope you're doing well. I hope everyone else is doing well too. Today we'll be talking about Cardano. So can you let us know what is Cardano and give us a little synopsis of the project for us?
Sure. So Cardano is a proof of stake blockchain. It's an L1, level 1 blockchain. And it's really good with support of multi-asset ledgers, and it does also smart contracts. It's highly ranked because they're ranked number 7 on CoinGecko. So they're one of the really top leading projects. And contrary to some other blockchains, they didn't build on the top of an existing blockchain. They didn't copy existing code. They really created everything, on their own. The ADA is the native token. It's really needed to pay for transaction fees. And lots of people are staking the Cardano token ADA.
Awesome, thank you, Boris. Can we kind of change gears? What about the history and performance of the coin, and why is it number 8 on the list, Boris?
Well, it was created back in 2015 by Charles Hoskinson, who's actually one of the founding members of Ethereum. They had some disagreement, I guess, on Ethereum on how things should proceed. So Charles left the Ethereum project and went on to create Cardano by himself. Back in 2017, they had an ICO and they raised $60 million. So right off the bat, they had quite a bit of money to work with. They then launched the first version in September of that year, and they established the Cardano settlement layer and Ouroboros consensus algorithm. They also have implemented back recently in September 2022 the Vasil hard fork, which really was there to improve a few things, smart contracts, also reducing the total cost and increasing the throughput. Therefore, they've enhanced the transaction validation. The ADA token, since it's one of the major ones, I mean, you can find it pretty much on all the big exchanges, from Gate.io to Binance to KuCoin, Coinbase. Everybody pretty much has. Now they have Cardano. They have a market cap of slightly over $14 billion. They have a total supply and max supply of 45 billion tokens. And currently the circulating supply is at 35 billion tokens. The price, all-time high, $3.09 back in September 2021. And their all-time low was at 1.9 cents back in March 13, 2020.
Awesome, thank you, Boris. Now can we kind of change gears here and talk about the on-chain data and how it compares to Ethereum at the end of the day, Boris?
Yeah, so on the real volume, we're talking dollar-wise, they are down 29% from roughly the past month, whereas Ethereum is up 41%. But there's been a lot of stuff happening on Ethereum, some new projects where people were really spending a lot of money on Ethereum fees and trying to launch some projects, so that's not surprising. What's interesting though is that on the number of active addresses, they are up almost 7% in the past month. In the meantime, Ethereum is down 15% on the number of active addresses. The other interesting thing is the number of transactions, transaction volume. They're up almost 35%, where in the meantime, Ethereum is up 30%. So they're doing slightly better than Ethereum on transaction volume.
Awesome. Thank you. What about what's new and what's in their future roadmap, Boris?
So one thing that they have done recently, first of all, the market cap has gone up since the beginning of the year from 8.6 billion to 13 billion. So it's a nice recovery that they're doing. Some people were starting to give up a little bit on Cardano. Now they see that actually the blockchain has a pretty bright future. Also on the total value locked, they're up 172%. So they went from 50 million to 138 million. And stable coins, played a big role in this. The other thing is in March, they launched Hydra Head, which is the new layer 2 sitting on the top of Cardano. And what would they need a layer 2 if the transaction fees are not extremely high? Well, it's mainly for scalability. That's really what's going to push them into doing even more transactions per second, having a layer 2. They have pushed some other things like interoperability, and they have 4 projects that are currently working on that. Also interesting to see that MinSwap is declining slightly, and that's the main DEX on Cardano, but probably because competition is growing elsewhere as well. Another thing is the active stake. 26.4 billion of ADA, 69% basically are staked in ADA. So only Solana actually has more than Cardano. They're number 2 for the number of coins staked. Overall, we see that the market is recovered, and right now we see a lot of I call that ping pong. Basically, it goes between 2 prices. So right now we're seeing that we are doing this ping pong between 27,000 roughly and 30,000. But pretty much the whole market, has grown by about 5%, where in the meantime, Cardano and Solana, they are up, 7%. So we see that they're probably going to be one of the front runners on the L1s. So that's also the other thing that's interesting. And of course, we all seen what's gone on with First Republic over the past month. We've seen and quarter, we've seen over 100 billion being withdrawn from banks in the US. So that's a lot of money. And the last thing that's interesting to note is that the liquidity injection is really what's creating the Bitcoin recent rally, probably more than the expectation, of the Fed tightening. And the Fed at some point probably will have to pivot because of all the banks that are really running into some liquidity issues. And First Republic, that just got acquired by JP Morgan, they're not going to be the last. Most likely there's going to be more banks having trouble, having issues. So at some point, the most likely the Fed will have to pivot. Now, of course, because we see that kind of a ping pong effect where, one day we're at 27,300, the next day we go up to 30K, and sometimes within the same day we see, a flash crash back down to 28K. It's a lot of shorts and longs that are being wiped out. So we're seeing a lot of people being wiped out one way or another because the market rises so fast and crashes so fast. So that's one thing that's interesting lately. These really major move, lots of volatility in the market, and it's probably not going to be over because there's more things to come with, especially with the CPI numbers and what is the Fed going to do as far as raising the rates or not raising the rates. But Binance and OKX, they saw lots of volume lately and lots of volume in short liquidations. And what's interesting as well is some of the stocks that are related to crypto, like the Coinbase stock or MicroStrategy, they are all up. For the past month, they've really made some recovery. And as of last week, there were $150 million in shorts that were liquidated in just 24 hours. And the largest liquidation in the 2 weeks earlier prior to that, it was $240 million. So it's very dangerous to play and try to short the market right now. And of course, if anybody is trying to play with borrowed money, or where you're trying to do like a 5x or 10x, trying to play also in the futures, all those are very, very dangerous plays right now. So probably something to definitely avoid, playing with any money that's borrowed. Now, what's great about Cardano lately is that they are leading by the number of projects that they have. They have over 1,200 projects that are currently actively building on Cardano. They have more than 7,700 Plotus scripts that are in action. Plotus is basically a smart contract platform. So we see a lot of new things coming into development. Cardano is extremely used and extremely popular. They have an impressive 65 million transactions lately. So we're seeing really the programmers, the developers being very active on Cardano, and that's always a very good sign that the ecosystem is growing.
Awesome. Thank you, Boris. What about staking? Should we be staking this coin, and where should we be doing it at the end of the day, Boris?
Well, I mean, hopefully, if you have bought some Cardano at a good price, before it starts going up. Let's say if you were lucky enough to have buying it if you bought it back in December, definitely, and you believe in Cardano and you want to keep it long term, at least during the next bull run. It makes sense to stake. What would you pass on that money? Extremely easy to stake. Most wallets, from Trust Wallet to Atomic Wallet, Exodus, pretty much everybody allows you to stake very easily the coin, and usually you're gonna make anywhere between 3.5% to 5% APY. You could be staking directly to a validator, or you could also run your own validator node. But doing it from a wallet, that's probably the easiest way to do it. And they pay you every few days, usually once a week, once every 2 weeks. And you have to claim those coins, and usually they get automatically restaked once you have staked them. The other cool thing with Cardano, it's easy to unstake, because you can unstake pretty much at any time. So there's no lockup period.
Thank you there, Boris. What about the price prediction? Do you really see it hitting a 16x?
Yeah, so currently it is sitting around 39 cents. Probably by next year, we should be getting closer to $1. Then by 2026, we'd be along the lines of about $1.78. By 2028, getting back to past the all-time high, which was 309. So by 2028, we might see, $3.80. something along those lines. And by 2030, we should see really anywhere between $6.5 to $8. Now, keep in mind that those predictions, the time frame could change depending on how fast the bull run is going and depending on how fast things move. But potentially, we could be looking at a 16x from here. If it was, let's say, along the lines of 663. Most people, reasonable people, seem to think that 8 is definitely a high possibility. And then I see some crazy predictions of people talking to you about $100 Cardano, but that's ridiculous, in my opinion. I mean, there are 45 billion tokens. Times 100, that would make it basically 4.5 trillion. It's too much. I mean, so be careful with some of the predictions that are way too optimistic. I mean, making a 16x return would be already pretty awesome. If it's a little more, maybe it becomes 20x, maybe 22, 23x. That would be really excellent, but to go beyond that is just not reasonable and not realistic. So that's it for today. Thank you, Colton. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to see you on the next Kryptonite video. I hope this video helps. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.